Alright, today's video is going to be a totally subscriber based video. This comes from a question of one of my subscribers. I don't really know if he wants to be called on wants me to give his name on video, so I'm gonna save him. But if he watches this video, I'm pretty sure it's a he. He knows who he is, because he asked me this question in the YouTube comments. It's a pretty legitimate question, and it's a video I've been wanting to make for a while anyway. And that is, he wanted me to make a Disney XD video. And lately, I've been doing quite a few Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon videos, so I've only figured best it's about time to talk about the most, in my opinion, underrated of the free cartoon channels, and frankly, my preferred choice. Now, my preferred choice, keep in mind, is still really flawed. If you've seen my other videos where I mentioned Disney XD, I've said before, even though they're my preferred choice, they're not the best choice. Well, not the best, when it comes to marketing, which I'll get into that later on. But to kind of kick things off, I'm actually going to start off with the pros. Let's actually call it what I like. I don't want to say pros, because things like the shows they have, all the other networks have good shows too. So to start off with what I like about Disney XD, it's got fantastic shows. One of them, some of them are among my favorites of the ongoing cartoon revival. I mean, obviously Disney XD is most known for DuckTales, which I really need to get back into watching that. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I thought they had a pretty good start. Milo Murphy's Law, which that's not really my cup of tea. It was from the Phineas and Ferb creators. I mean, I liked the first 2 episodes, but their sense of humor isn't really up my alley. And of course, their most ongoing and probably most popular show, and definitely my favorite of the cartoon revival, is, as you could probably guess from my channel name, Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much about the show itself. I mean, if you do, I've got quite a few episodes. I do a discussion series of that show called The Butterfly Show, and you can watch my episodes of that to learn more. And it's got all 3 of these shows. Unlike, a network like Nickelodeon, where I think they're really just trying to target kids with their shows, Disney XD pretty much does what really good Disney does, in that they not only make their shows kid-friendly, but, they're definitely, interesting shows to follow for adults. I mean, and, a good example of that, of course, with DuckTales, it's got, not only is the humor kid-friendly, but it's also, the kind of things that I feel like adults can really get into, in that it's not, yes, the kids can watch it, but, it's not too kiddie. And of course, I still can't get over how in the first episode of DuckTales, I think Huey made a Photoshop joke, and that he didn't believe Webby, when Webby says, "Oh, what about this picture of a ghost?" And Huey just says Photoshop. And so I think it's kind of cool that they're able to make, meta jokes. And of course, Star vs. the Force of Evil, which has, quite a bit of dark humor, but it also has a really engaging story. I honestly haven't been this engrossed by a continuity heavy show like this since Avatar and The Last Airbender. And it's really weird. I would never expect, a show where this really bubbly princess goes around fighting monsters would have that. But when you start to watch more of the episodes, their episodes really go places, for a kid show, but in all the best ways. And that it makes the show really engrossing. It has a really good plot, very likable characters. And for some of us out there, let's be honest, we like to ship many of the characters. So I think it just comes to shows how much people like the characters of not only Star but other franchises. And of course Disney XD also has other really good shows, like Gravity Falls is a super popular one. Again, very engrossing story and likable characters. And also this one, even though they don't air it on Disney XD, even though I really think they should, Wander Over Yonder, which again, it's kind of silly for my taste, but I think it's a really fun show to watch. I watch episodes of Wander Over Yonder every now and then. And Craig McCracken, even though he's been in the industry for like 20 plus years, I still think he's got a lot of talent to entertain his audience, whether it be longtime fans or newcomer kids. So yeah. The other thing too I really like about Disney XD is, between the three networks, I think Disney XD has the best schedule. I'm gonna pull up their current schedule right here. So you notice that what I like is that they air like different shows each day. It's not like every day feels like they have the same schedule like Nickelodeon, or that they have one show that takes up a good chunk of the schedule like Cartoon Network. I mean, yes, they tend to marathon like episodes like Star and Gravity Falls, but they do it on separate days, But outside of that, they have a good amount of other shows. And even when they do like announce big marathons, like they're having their Pokemon marathon, it's not like a thing where it takes up 90% of the schedule like what Teen Titans Go did on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So yeah, so they pretty much give equal opportunity when it comes to many of their shows. And what I also like about it is that they air shows that are discontinued but are still very relevant and are still very appealing to all audiences. Like, as you can see here, they air shows like Phineas and Ferb, Gravity Falls. I've even seen, I don't think it's on this week, I've even seen they've aired episodes of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which I didn't watch too many episodes, but that show is a ton of fun. So yeah, so that's definitely a note I wished Cartoon Network would take more often. I mean, they do, but they could do a little bit more, especially with shows like Regular Show, and even shows that are, ending soon, like Adventure Time. So that's what I really like it. The other thing too about Disney XD I really like is their social media presence. Like, as somebody that studies social media and public relations in college, I think Disney XD is doing a really bang up job promoting all their shows. They promote Big Hero 6, a show I forgot to mention, of Big Hero 6, Star. They do a lot of memes with their shows, like in the case of Star, they were doing for New Year's. I think I'll show you one where they're saying, I'm not writing New Year's resolution this year. Also me, and they're showing Star writing in her diary, and they're showing it as if Star is writing her wishes. And they also really want people to send in their fan art of various shows. I've seen fan art of shows like DuckTales, and I'm looking at one from Star. And they're just having a lot of fun with the shows they have on the Disney XD social media page. So that's really good. And I think it shows that Disney XD, if it was Disney XD itself, like if that was the entire company, they could be doing a really good job of marketing. So now on to my problems with Disney XD, which none of them are, I would say, as detrimental as Cartoon Network's problems with marketing, but they're still really annoying. I think for me, just as somebody who really likes Disney XD, these kind of things kind of get under my skin quite a bit, if I could talk today. And that is, the first problem I have with Disney XD is a serious lack of advertising. You know, yes, I know many of Disney XD's franchises aren't as mainstream as like Disney's mainstream franchises, like the Marvel and Star Wars franchises, which I'm sure those are great shows, but those I'm not really into that kind of thing. But it's just that when you look at like the Disney ads from like the early 2000s, basically when Michael Eisner was running Disney, they really pushed the hell out of like Disney Channel and Toon Disney, and having DVDs on store shelves. I'm talking about the days of shows like Kim Possible and Hannah Montana, and when they had like High School Musical. You don't really see that much anymore. You do kind of on the Disney Channel side with like Tangled the series and Big Hero 6, but you don't see that much from Disney XD, or even I'll get into more, but it just feels like outside of social media, you don't really see much of Disney XD's advertising anywhere. Like, not so much on social media or on the internet, Like, when you go to websites that have those ads, I don't really see Disney XD ads out there, aside from DuckTales, But I really wished Disney XD would push even their lesser known shows, because it's like when I was a kid, I didn't know what, the Proud Family, Kim Possible, and the Replacements were. They're not based on big franchises, but Disney still pushed them. Part of that was because they had ABC Kids, but now that they don't, I feel they should be advertising them elsewhere, whether it be on things like internet ads, or what I'm about to get into is, I may as well talk about it now, is the lack of merchandising in DVDs. Now, yes, I did find Gravity Falls DVDs on Walmart, but it's like, where the fuck was the advertising for that? It's like, I didn't hear about at all, and that was even before I was a big Gravity Falls fan. So it's just, how the fuck is it that I'm getting really vulgar. It's just that how the fuck is it that like Nickelodeon puts out DVDs of the freaking Loud House, and like Disney XD, they don't put out DVDs of like the Star, or even when they do of like Gravity Falls, they don't advertise it, and they have like DVDs of shit, what was that show again? DuckTales, but that's it. Like, aside from Star and aside from DuckTales, where are the DVDs for Star, Gravity Falls, and Milo Murphy's Law? I know some people say, "Oh, well, Disney probably doesn't have the money." It's not that they don't have the money; it's that they don't, want to do it. And I feel like that's a really big problem I have with Disney in general, is that they're way too safe. Like, many of their movies just feel like very similar and very, I don't know, they don't feel as groundbreaking as the Disney of like the 1990s, or even, I would even argue, the early 2000s. It just, and because of that, if this isn't really a Disney rant video, this is more of a Disney XD discussion video, and I just really wish that they could put out DVDs of more of their shows. They probably won't do like Blu-rays, like I can't really see them doing that, but it would be nice if more of their they could be putting them, especially for like people who don't really watch those shows. When they put them out on DVD and people pass by them in like the local Walmart or Target, that's a place where they can reach new customers, people outside of their current fan base. So yeah, and speaking of advertising and all that shit, like, where's the merchandising? Like, I've never seen like Disney XD Happy Meal toys. I don't see I know people want like merch of shows like Wander Over Yonder and Star. Like, how many times have I seen people say, I want like a Star doll or more Star t-shirts? Yes, they have Star vs. the Force of Evil like t-shirts at Hot Topic, but they only have like shirts for like, I want like shirts that were made for guys. Yes, they have them for like girls and young women, but it's just like it would be nice if they had like shirts for guys. So, and also like merchandising, and I'm not just talking about like toys of like Star Marco, but it's like what about toys of like Star's wand, or even things like a Star versus the Force of Evil, a laptop case, or I would love for them to come out with like a Star iPhone SE cover, for instance. So it's like, where is that, Disney? It's like you have money to spare. Like Disney is a company where even if they don't make money from advertising, they could still make a couple bucks off of, franchises like, Star, Gravity Falls, and Wander Over Yonder. Yes, it's a couple bucks, but there's still a rabid fan base that is looking to buy merchandise for those shows. So, yeah, it's just really frustrating, Like, I'm one of those people that, like, whenever I hear people talk about Disney, it hurts me not to hear people talk about, like Star or Gravity Falls or Wonder Over Yonder. And part of that's because Disney's not advertising them, Unless you follow, the cartoon community, chances are you're not going to hear about these franchises. So it's just a real pain in the ass, And as I have it on my list here, I feel, yeah, they should be making video games out of, the franchises. I mean, hell, Disney did that with even when their shows didn't need video games. Like, I know they made like Hannah Montana, and I think they even made like, what was that other show? And Sweet Life of Cody games. I mean, they have franchises now that have major potential to be made into games they could put on platforms like, the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, and the PS4. I mean, they could make games out of, Gravity Falls or Star, They could make platforming action games out of those shows. So, yeah. So just wondering where the hell is that? I would love to play those games. So yeah, that's just kind of my quick thoughts. I'll talk about an abrupt ending, but yeah, so I really would like to see Disney XD make those changes. So right now, I prefer Disney XD mainly because they have really good shows, and I like the marketing of what they can do on social media. I just really wish Disney proper would give their franchises like a chance like they did in the 2000s and in the 90s, That's what I kind of feel. That's one of my biggest problems with Disney's current president, Bob Iger. Even though, yes, he's making tons of money with Disney, what Disney's currently doing now. But right now, it just feels like Disney is playing it super safe. Like, oh, well, we're only going to make money out of Pixar and, our big animated movies and Marvel and Star Wars, which I'm not saying Disney has to stop making those. They should not. Those are their money makers, but they should at least put some marketing money into their Disney XD franchises, So, yeah, that's really just my biggest problem with Disney XD in general. If there's anything that Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, are doing right, like, aside from they have their really good shows too, it's that they still market the hell out of their franchises. Like, when Adventure Time was relevant, they marketed the hell out of that show. And look at, like, The Loud House. You can buy The Loud House on DVD. So, if Nickelodeon can do it, I feel Disney XD should do it. I mean, when you have the backing of one of the biggest conglomerates in the world, you have the money to do that. It's just you don't want to do it because, you just don't want to give it a chance, even though you have the money to do it. If Disney has $52 billion to buy 20th Century Fox, then they definitely have the money to make some Star and Wander Over Yonder franchises. And speaking of Wander Over Yonder, that's a show, when it came out, I feel Disney really screwed up the marketing. It's like, where was the advertising saying, hey, this is from the creator of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and the Powerpuff Girls? I would have watched that show when it first came out, but it's just... In fact, that was why I first got into it, was that I heard that Craig McCracken was working on another show, and it was on Disney XD, and it's called Wander Over Yonder. So where was that advertising, Disney? So, yeah. But in conclusion, I feel just ranting about it, it just shows that, like, Disney XD, is a really good network, but it's a perfect example of when you don't have the marketing behind it, just having good properties is not going to be enough to sell it, you know? So I really would like to see Disney ramp up the marketing for Star Wars: The Force of Evil, Wander Over Yonder, and Gravity Falls. Not that they want to see something ridiculous like, oh, we're going to put Star Marco in a Disneyland parade, or we're going to make a ride of Gravity. I'm not saying, dude, go that far, but I'm saying at least make some more, like, t-shirts with, like, Star R and Marco, or, like, make a video game of Gravity Falls, So, yeah, if I can stop saying the word so. But that's just kind of my quick thoughts with Disney XD. I don't want to end it off angrily, because in the end, I really do like Disney XD. Like, some of their, as I said in the beginning, some of their franchises are some of my favorites in the ongoing cartoon revival. Like I said, I'm a big fan of shows like Gravity Falls and Wander Over Yonder. And as I keep saying, Star Wars: The Forces of Evil is easily my favorite show of the current revival, because it takes, Disney's princess idea, and turns the princess into a more relatable, even, like, kind of realistic character, and they gave her a really epic story to go along with that, with characters that you want to ship, and other characters you're scared to death that they're going to die. So, yeah. So that's about it. I just really wish Disney XD, had better marketing. Disney XD itself has good marketing, at least in terms of going on social media, but Disney proper needs to get on with this. So yeah, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.